Look at the forecast here for today. Partly sunny, a little bit of clouds to deal with, and a chance for some rain later on with a high of 62. Later on tonight, we're looking at cloudy, 70% chance for some rain. So you might need your
Hmm.
fancy rain jacket like
Like
I
you
have
have, yes.
that my mom got me. You know,
That was very nice of her.
yeah, I mentioned this earlier this week. My mom did buy me because we were talking about how I didn't have just the basic
Raincoat.
little
Yeah.
raincoat.
Yeah.
And so she said, "You know what? How about this one? I'll send it to your house." So it was a very, very nice thing for my mother to do. She didn't have to do it. It was one of those things where I was like, do I need this jacket? Yeah, it could be useful. I've already got a couple other jackets, but I don't have a really rain
jacket.
type jacket that's really good and waterproof. And now I do.
Yeah.
Thanks to my mom.
That was very nice.
Yes, very nice.
Very nice of Johnny's mom.
Lots of things to talk about this morning. Let's get to what's happening in the news. It's brought to you by our friends at Cornerstone Alliance. See GoMichigan.com. Cornerstone Alliance.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. Good morning. 6 candidates for St. Joseph City Commission met last night for a candidates forum. Southwest Regional Chamber and WSJM facilitated the debate that covered hot topics in the city, including parking, Curious Kids Museum, Tuscarnia Park, housing, and a number of other things. Candidate Michael Fernandez says action on housing is necessary because housing prices are keeping people out of the community.
I wouldn't have been able to afford my home to live in the city today had I not bought it several years ago. It's a real challenge, and I think it's one that we need to tackle head on.
Fernandez and the other candidates discussed potential zoning and ordinance updates to help with allowing more housing in St. Joe, potentially some with smaller footprints. Regarding the economy of St. Joseph and how to help local businesses, candidate Sean Osborne says the commission needs to open an ear on what business is saying.
I feel that we really need to find a way to open up that line of communication between our businesses and the commission along with our staff and really kind of come together as a community and help each other, because without the business, we're just, we're not the flourishing city that we see.
Of the 6 candidates, the top 3 vote getters this November will serve on the city commission. The election is November 7. The candidates are Michael Fernandez, James Christopher Lannert, Sean Osborne, Brooke Thomas, Tess Ulrey, and David Yardley. The forum is available for viewing in its entirety on our Facebook page, WSJM. Lakeshore Public Schools has seen a slight enrollment decrease this year, but it was a smaller decrease than what was expected. Speaking to the Lakeshore Board of Education this week, District Chief Financial Officer Tracy Althouse said revenues this year have been higher than budgeted because of the enrollment. The district last year had 2,686 students, but planned for a drop of 36 students this year. Instead, they only lost 17.
So when we budgeted back in June, we budgeted for about 2,650. That's based on our enrollment projections from Dr. Craig Ignavich, whom we use every year. Our enrollment came in much better than expected. Our unaudited student count as of Wednesday was 2,669.3, I believe. So definitely an increase. We're very happy to see that.
The district gets about $9,600 per student from the state. Althouse said partly as a result of the good enrollment news, the projected revenues for the year went from $36.4 million to $37 million. She added expenditures have also been up, partly due to the hiring of a social worker, a special education teacher, and a Young 5 teacher. The latest audit for Hager Township shows the community is in good financial shape. Township Supervisor Izzy DiMaggio tells us the Township Board this week heard that the general fund balance is at $1.4 million. That's growth of about $46,000 over last year.
It showed that we're in great financial shape. Our revenues for all the funds exceeded the expenditures. We have healthy balances in all the funds, especially the general fund. I think we got like 189% of fund balance over expenditures. So that's like a couple years of revenue.
The township took in $830,000 this past year and spent just $783,000. DiMaggio says it's facing some challenges, though. They include the cost of a new 5-year contract with their ambulance service provider, Medic One.
at a cost of about $89,000 a year. So with cost of living increases, that's probably about $500,000 we're looking at over 5 years. So that's a major challenge.
DiMaggio says the township is also expanding the public safety building to make room for Medic One. Plus, it's got some costly drain projects that are coming up. He credits the staff and trustees with the positive audit, saying Hager Township has no debt. Michigan Works brought together high school students from Coloma and St. Joseph for its annual Manufacturing Day. It happened at Max 3 in Benton Harbor last week. Michigan Works Business Solution Manager Michael Mompierre says 62 students toured the state-of-the-art manufacturing facility to learn a bit about the manufacturing career path. He says the industry is facing a shortage of workers.
In our area specifically, manufacturing is a core sector, but the manufacturing space overall, there's about 30% or so of individuals in the manufacturing space are 55 or above. And so in about 10 years or so, many of them will be exiting the workforce. So it's important that we reinvigorate the talent pipeline and bring exposure to it.
In addition to touring the site, the students had the opportunity to demo virtual reality headsets so they could get into the real world of manufacturing themselves. Mom Premier says getting students exposed to the kind of technical careers possible in manufacturing is key to helping employers find future workers. And if you're in the market for a bicycle, the St. Joseph Department of Public Safety may have something for you. Director Steve Newbecker tells us they're going to hold an auction this Saturday up for grabs all kinds of bicycles.
Bicycles were found abandoned in the city and various other things, and we'll be auctioning them off to the community.
Newbecker says the auction proceeds will go back into the city's general fund. The auction happens Saturday at the St. Joe Public Works Building, 1160 Broad Street. The viewing of the items starts at 7 a.m., and the auction itself starts at 8. In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
Is it just bicycles?
That's all they said is bicycles. I asked about motorcycles. I asked about old cop cars.
Right.
I mean, you say auction, I'm there.
Right. Or just random stuff. Like, what else you got?
Yeah, well, it has that stapler.
Right. You got any file cabinets? No, that's really great. So that's if you need a bicycle,
I hope they shine them up and put air in the tires and stuff.
Probably a little spit shine.
Yeah.
We'll catch up with sports and let's find out what's happening around the nation and the world with ABC News now.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin speaking this morning to NATO leaders, reiterating strong U.S. support for Israel. Austin saying, like any other country, Israel has a bedrock right to defend itself from terrorism and aggression. The death toll now to more than 1,200 Israelis and more than 1,000 Palestinians, most of them killed during the bombing campaign that began after the weekend surprise attack. There were hundreds of airstrikes in Gaza overnight. At least 20 U.S. citizens remain unaccounted for, but it's unclear how many of them are being held hostage in Gaza. ABC's Louis Martinez at the Pentagon has more on how the military is preparing to try and get them out.
Rescue operations in Gaza are going to be very complicated, very difficult, just given the logistics of the scenario in there. It's a very densely populated area, heavily armed, and it's going to be very risky, even if the intelligence is spot on.
Lots of investigation into the intelligence failures with continuing coverage. Israel at War. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Your sports update on the morning show is brought to you by True Blue Financial. Independent, uncomplicated, dedicated.
The long-awaited premiere of the NHL last night, and for the Blackhawks, the premiere of Connor Bedard in a Blackhawks uniform. The Blackhawks were down 2-0 in the second period when Bedard assisted on the first Hawks goal on the way to a 4-2 win over Pittsburgh. The Blackhawks are back in action tonight at Boston at 7:30. The Red Wings are off. Major League Baseball playoffs yesterday, the American League Division Series. Houston over Minnesota 9-1. Houston leads 2-1. And Texas over Baltimore 7-1. Texas wins that series 3-0. Today, Atlanta is at Philadelphia at 5. That series tied at 1-1. Houston at Minnesota at 7. Houston leads 2-1, and the Dodgers are at the Diamondbacks at 9 o'clock. Arizona leads 2-0. NBA preseason yesterday, it was the Houston Rockets over the Indiana Pacers, 122-103. WNBA Finals resume tonight, Game 2. It's New York at Las Vegas at 9 o'clock. Las Vegas leads a best-of-5 game series, 1-0. With sports, I'm Dave Wolf.
sometimes you just don't know where to start. So we're a starting point.
That's the new director of the Women's Business Center at Cornerstone Alliance, Kristen Patzer.
We're that sounding board to talk through your ideas. You know, there's market research and statistics that come into play. And so we're here to really talk through from the idea phase and beyond.
From helping you.
Saying good morning to those watching on our live stream.
Hey, good morning.
How's everybody doing? Enjoying either a cup of coffee or tea or breakfast of some kind.
Captain Crunch cereal.
Ooh,
wouldn't that be fun?
I'm not a Captain Crunch fan.
Really, Crunch Berries, Captain Crunch?
Crunch Berries, I can get on board with,
Okay.
but it's got to just be the basic, the berries.
The only thing I don't like about Captain Crunch is it stays hard too long.
Yeah, it cuts your mouth up.
It does. Yeah, the roof of your mouth is never the same.
I'm a fan, and it makes me feel a little old, but or kind of plain. Is I really like Crispix. You know those ones? They're kind of like Life cereal. They're kind of like Chex.
Okay,
but they're Crispix.
Are
They're
they
one
the
of those
knockoff, or is Life a knockoff of them?
It's their total thing.
Okay.
They're kind of like octagon shaped, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they stay crispy almost all the way to the bottom of the bowl. That's their thing.
Very nice.
But yeah, those ones are good.
Do you know anyone who eats grape nuts?
We do.
You do?
Yeah,
that's
Jocelyn
right. You
and
do.
I, we eat grape nuts. Yeah.
Gosh, I just can't understand. It seems like it's a very crunch the whole time.
It is. It is one of those just like a water chestnut. It's very hard and it stays hard the entire time.
Do you put like a quarter cup of brown sugar in it to make it a nice little syrup?
No, we'll put I let it soak for a little bit.
Okay.
But that still doesn't help.
No.
I think that the design of grape nuts was to not only help you lose weight with the fiber and be a good fiber in your diet, but also help you burn off calories by chewing.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And strengthen your jaw.
Well, and strengthen your jaw. And if you ever run out of sandpaper, just glue a bunch of them down on a piece of paper.
Some grape nuts. Yeah,
you got it. Sandpaper.
You're covered, man. All right, let's get back to the show here.
All right.
Guys, to start out today, we're going to see in and out some sunshine, but we're going to see a lot of clouds becoming completely cloudy this afternoon. High temperatures right around 60. We're expecting rain showers this evening and overnight tonight. We drop to 48, and that rain continues through the day tomorrow with a high right around 60 as well. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Good morning, just after 7, about 7:15-ish. You can be part of the show anytime. You can always call 925-WSJM. You can email letstalk@WSJM.com. We had a great time yesterday at the St. Joe City Commission Candidate Forum. Arthur Havlicek from the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber was kind of handling the whole thing with his team.
Did a great job.
Asked a lot of great questions, but right at the end, I was like, hey, when do I get to see that baby?
Yeah.
Because, he and his wonderful wife just had a baby.
Yep.
And it's adorable from the pictures that I've seen.
Has she turned 1 month yet?
I don't know. But, man.
It's close.
The best head of hair I've ever seen.
Nice.
Like, imagine, Arthur's hair.
Yeah.
He's got great hair.
He has great hair.
Put that on a baby.
Oh.
That's the kind of hair she's got.
Wow.
So, yeah, beautiful baby. He did show me one picture of her. They dressed her up and put her inside of a real pumpkin.
Yeah.
She did not have a good time.
Screaming.
Crying, screaming. But she's adorable. So I can't wait to meet her in person. But speaking of pumpkins, you have a pumpkin story for me?
But about Arthur, it was funny because he was doing the questions last night to the candidates for St. Joe City Commission. And coming into the event, he was feeling good. He's like, yeah, I'm feeling real serene about this whole thing. This is going to go great. And indeed it did. And by the end of it, he was like, man, I just didn't realize how tired I am. That baby makes me tired.
He's just on like a runner's high.
Yeah.
He's on a dad high right
he's
now.
On a dad high. So speaking of pumpkins, though, this is the time of year when you see the biggest pumpkins.
Yeah.
And so this story comes out of Half Moon Bay, California. A Minnesota horticulture teacher has set a world record for the heaviest pumpkin after growing a pumpkin weighing 2,749 pounds.
That is a big pumpkin.
That is a heck of a gourd. That's a world-size gourd. Travis Gaynor of Minnesota won the 50th World Championship pumpkin weigh-off in Half Moon Bay, California, with an enormous, lumpy, orange, probably not going to eat it type of pumpkin that could produce, they said, at least 687 pies.
Can you eat that?
Oh, yeah.
When
why
you
not?
when you make it that big?
I was told all parts of the pumpkin are edible, including the stem.
Really?
I was told this.
Who told you this?
Well, I don't know.
Somebody?
Somebody. But I don't mind. I mean, pumpkin's great.
Yeah.
I love pumpkin.
Yeah, because like when I make like any kind of squash of some kind, I'm eating the outer layer as well. But yeah, I just can't imagine. How do you cook a pumpkin like that? You got to just cut it up into sections.
One piece at a time. Gaynor, who's 43 years old, said he's been growing pumpkins for nearly 30 years. He set a couple of records previously, and he said he grows these in his backyard. I'd like to see his backyard. But he says he grows them in his backyard. He decided to give his plants extra care this year, watering them up to 12 times a day. Apparently, he doesn't have a job, and feeding and fertilizing them a little bit more than usual. 120 gallons he watered this pumpkin a day.
Wow.
That is a heck of a water bill.
Jeez.
So yeah, he nicknamed the pumpkin Michael Jordan.
The greatest of all time.
The greatest of all time. And he won $30,000.
Really?
$30,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know how you get that thing from Minnesota to California. Very carefully, I guess.
Yeah, I've seen, because I watch Jocelyn likes to find there's a couple people that are like growers of massive pumpkins.
Yeah.
And she'll show me these, and I've seen they pretty much take like a crane and some straps, and they just strap that thing on, and they crane it onto like a flatbed.
Oh man,
it's ridiculous.
Can you imagine trucking that thing across the country though?
Oh yeah, I'm looking at pictures here right now.
Big.
Oh my gosh, that is massive,
isn't it?
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, we'll have to get that photo for you here later on.
But and I would love to see a pumpkin catapult of that thing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, when I lived out east, I was part of radio stations over there, and they were like, "Yeah, you got to go to Pumpkin Chunkin'."
Oh yeah,
it's an event that we're going to do some fundraising stuff. We're going to do some things. You got a live broadcast at Pumpkin Chunkin'.
Oh.
And this is the Pumpkin Chunkin'. It's, if you've ever watched, I think it's on Discovery Channel or something like that, where they launch pumpkins.
Okay.
Of all different sizes. And this event was probably the coolest thing I ever been to. It's the World Championship Pumpkin Chunkin', actually, which I believe is still going on, but they moved it from Delaware to somewhere in the middle of the country.
Oh, maybe they were throwing stuff too far. Delaware's not that big.
They were throwing stuff too far, and yeah, they were running out of space. And then they had some issues with some things there, but they decided to move it to. They moved it to different places. The one time they put it in Illinois, another time they put it somewhere else. But it's a great event because it's not just a catapult; it is like air cannons. Because it started years ago as an event that was, I think, a radio station thought, hey, this is a fun idea. Let's catapult these. Well, then a bunch of engineers got involved. They had people coming from Australia.
Whoa.
With these giant air cannons.
Oh, man.
With, I mean, huge tanks on these cannons. Mm-hmm. And they would just launch them. Some of them would go almost a mile.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's why you needed a lot of property. They just had this big, wide open farm out in Delaware.
It's like one of those crazy rail guns.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the cannon was, I mean, they had to add pieces to the cannon. It was that big when they got on site. So pretty neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've ever been to an event like that, it's pretty fun. But yeah, it's just like, it isn't just like catapult. The air cannons, I remember I'd be like, hey, I'm broadcasting live, and all of a sudden They'd have like sirens go off and things like that. It was pretty neat.
Can you imagine if you're a four-legged creature just sitting out there in the middle of a field looking for your next meal or something, and all of a sudden 2,000-pound pumpkin smashes into the ground after being launched a mile away?
You're just a bird eating this smashed pumpkin that was on the ground. Then all another smashed pumpkin comes right at you.
The ground, you can hear it whistling through the air.
Oh man, just crazy stuff.
Yeah, I see you've got some sugar problems here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, let me get to that real
Halloween,
quick.
Halloween and pumpkins and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
apparently there is a world sugar shortage that could make Halloween the most expensive.
What?
Some of the candy companies are looking at this and said there's apparently a worldwide sugar shortage.
Oh no.
Excuse me. That could make for the most expensive Halloween in history.
Oh no.
They said droughts in Thailand actually killed a quarter of the sugar crop, and same for the flooding that happened in the deep south. And along with more expensive costumes, Americans are expected to blow about $108 a person on Halloween this year.
I'm not doing that.
No, that's a lot of money. Many dollars more from last year. Was a record $12 billion nationally.
Jeez.
So there you go.
So is what I'm hearing is the price, because of the sugar shortage in Thailand, the price is already being reflected in our
I guess
in our candies.
I don't know
on
if
the
it's
shelf.
like sugar futures or what. They're just like, hey, we're probably going to have some issues, so let's
just another
let's jack
reason
the
to
price up.
raise the candy price.
Yeah, because no, you're right. You think, okay, if that's happening right now, well, what about the candy that's already been made?
Yeah, it's already got sugar in it.
Yeah, it's already got the sugar in it. It's already been processed, ready to go. It's in the package. It's on the shelf.
Yeah.
Why are you going to raise the price on me?
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying here. They've got very tough year for global sugar. The top 10 sugar producing countries, out of the top 10, 6 of them have had extreme weather that damaged the crops.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
What are we going to do?
Grow some sugar beets.
Yeah. I'm going to make my own Snickers bar.
Gonna make my own sugar. How do you make nougat again?
Speaking of sugar, Jocelyn made cookies last night.
Oh.
Because you know how I was saying I was going to make some cookies.
Yeah.
Well, since I was so busy last night with the candidate forum, as I was leaving the house, she said, you know what I'm going to do tonight?
Oh,
I'm going to make some cookies.
Wow.
So she did.
Excellent. What kind? How'd they turn out?
Some chocolate chip ones.
many?
I've got some.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll get you one.
Okay.
But yeah, she made them, and she's like, yeah, it's just, it's the basic, the recipe that you get off the back of a
Works well.
bag.
Yeah.
And they were delicious. And you know what she did? She saved a scoopful of cookie dough for me.
Yum.
Yeah. I was like, what is this? What is this?
She missed you.
Happiest man in the world.
That's nice.
So yeah, and fattest because I love eating cookies.
Cookies
so
are great.
Good. I'll be fat and happy forever. Lots more to get to this morning. We'll catch you up with sports, news, and your Bloomberg Market Minute. That's all next.
Just as the roots of a mighty oak run deep, Sturgis Bank is committed to seeing our hometown.
All right, I'm going to see if I can pull up this. I'm going to pull up this pumpkin. I think I have it here.
Big pumpkin.
Where was that? Yep, right here.
120. That is dedication to grow that thing. 2,749 pounds.
Yeah, check out this baby.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Look at that thing.
That's huge.
That's massive. So yeah, there you go. That is the
wow.
Over 2,000 pounds. The guy won the big championship. But you wonder out of that whole thing, how much of it did he actually profit from it? Because you talked about, the maintenance, you got to feed that beast. So how much do you think you're actually profiting from the prize? Because you got a lot of water bills and stuff too.
So if you spent half your year growing that and your proceed, well, not your proceeds, but your gross was $30,000.
Yeah.
if you did that twice a year, you'd be making $60,000. So 2 pumpkins a year, $60,000. Do some math there. Yeah, your water bill is still more than that. 120 gallons a day. The water people are showing up at your door going, hey, you got a problem here? You're running a meth lab? What are you doing?
Right.
Jeez.
A little factoid for you.
Yeah.
They said this pumpkin that he raised
Yeah.
is heavy as a walrus, a hippopotamus, or a Mazda Miata.
Oh, okay.
So now you know. Your pumpkin is as big as a Mazda Miata.
A walrus and a Mazda Miata weigh about the same. That's pretty incredible.
So now if you have a Mazda Miata and you want to name your car, you could call it the Walrus.
The Walrus. I like it. Or the pumpkin.
Now you got to call your car girl's name, right? That's what most of the time. I don't know if there's are there rules.
I know ships, they're often girls' names.
Okay.
Or funny puns.
Yeah.
But I don't know about cars.
Does your car have a name?
No, my car does not have a name.
Your car does not have a name.
I have not named my car.
But have you named your cars in the past?
No. No,
Really?
my son named his car the Beast.
Ooh, the Beast. What kind of car?
Well, it's a Honda. It's an Accord. And,
Okay.
I mean, it's seen better days, but it still runs.
Yeah.
But he was infatuated with the limousine that the president rides around in.
Yeah.
Because it has bulletproof glass
Oh,
and
yeah.
bomb-proof and all that other stuff. And so the president's car is called the Beast. And so he, being an executive of a nation himself,
Right.
my son calls his car the Beast.
The Beast.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've never really named your
No.
cars?
Have you?
Yeah.
What do you
I name
name?
every one of my cars.
Really? Different
Yeah.
names?
Every single one has a different name.
Well, what are you currently driving?
Currently it's Loretta.
Oh,
yeah.
How did you arrive at that?
I don't know. I don't really. It's a Ford Edge. So I
Okay,
just decided,
Loretta.
you know what? It looks like a Loretta.
That's nice.
So
That's a good idea.
we have our other car is Lilu.
Okay.
And then I've had I'm trying to think because I've had all kinds of different cars and I've named every single one of them, but I can't remember the last name of the last car that I had.
I would have named my first car brown car that has 2 mismatched wheels. Yeah, that's the first
Okay.
name.
But you wouldn't give it a name?
Well, that's the name.
Oh.
Brown car that has 2 mismatched wheels. And then the last car I had before this one, car that had air conditioning that broke on the hottest day of the year.
Oh.
And that's when I took it to the dealership and said, no, give me another.
Give me a different one.
Yeah.
So you don't name. All right. So folks on watching on social
do you
media,
name
if
your
you'd like to, 1, tell us if you name your car, what the name of that car is. But 2, let's name Ken's car. He drives a black BMW.
Oh, come on.
Black BMW sedan. What's the model number? It's a M and L.
No, there's no M in it. but
Z.
No, it's a 5 Series.
5 Series. Okay. So black BMW 5 Series sedan. If you guys want to, feel free to comment on what your name possibilities.
I'll keep it as a
could
name
be.
for at least a day.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It might stick. We'll see if the car likes it.
I don't know if it's good luck to name your car or not, because I feel like if you had cars with mismatched wheels, you had cars that had broken air conditioning, maybe to give yourself some good luck, you start naming it.
That's a good point.
All right, we'll get back to the show here. We're going to have news for you here in just a moment. Let's check in on our Bloomberg Market Minute.
Sales and more machines on hand has kept a lid on prices. Investors are waiting for an update on wholesale prices today for more insight into the inflation pipeline and watching for the record of the last Fed meeting for any hints that the Fed may not follow through with another interest rate hike this year. Stocks closed higher again yesterday for the second day this week. The Dow was up 135, the S&P added 23, the Nasdaq rose 79. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Well, good morning. Just about 7:30, and today is going to be a decent day. We'll have a small chance for some rain, but the sun will come out. A high of 62 today, and then later tonight is where it might get a little dicey. 70% chance for some rain with a low down to 48. Thursday, much of the same, more rain. Hopefully that clears up by Friday for the Friday night football games.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Time to break out the Halloween movies or the
Oh,
Friday the
yeah.
13th movies, whatever you do.
I think Jocelyn yesterday at one point was watching Friday the 13th number 6.
Oh, really?
I think. And she's like, I didn't even know they made 6 of them. I was like, no, they made like 20 of them.
Oh.
They've gotten way off the rails. There's like Jason in space.
Yeah, I don't even entertain the idea of watching
No.
Jason in space.
Yeah, some of them you just got to watch the originals.
Yeah.
Couple 1, 2, maybe 3, but once it gets into 6, 7, we've all seen the Fast and Furious movies.
Well,
It's
those are good.
Some of them must haven't. I stopped at like 4.
Yeah,
I haven't watched any of the new ones.
My rule is if there's a Fast and Furious movie on when I'm flipping through, I stop and watch it.
Really?
Yeah, I like those.
All right.
Those are fun.
Well, let's find out what's happening in the news this morning.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. Here are some of the stories that we're following for you today. 6 candidates for St. Joe City Commission met last night for a candidate forum. They discussed their views on a wide number of city issues, including affordable housing, short-term rentals, parking, business, tourism, parks, and more. Of the 6 candidates, the top 3 vote getters this November will serve on the city commission. The election is November 7th. The candidates are Michael Fernandez, James Christopher Lannert, Sean Osborne, Brooke Thomas, Tess Ulrey, and David Yardley. The forum is available for viewing in its entirety on the WSJM Facebook page. The Benton Harbor Area School Board of Education has finalized a contract with Dr. Kelvin Butts to serve as the district superintendent. Now, he has been serving on an interim basis since last summer when former Superintendent Andre Townsell left. The board has extended the interim contract for Butts several times, and now it is offering him something final after what it calls intense negotiations. The board says the new 2-year contract embodies the collective best interests of our educators, students, and the community at large. And tours of the St. Joe Lighthouse were full this year, showing the second highest number of visitors ever recorded. Heritage Museum and Cultural Center officials say the 2023 season so far has recorded 6,925 visitors and generated more than $16,000 in ticket sales. Tours continue through this Sunday. We'll see if they get up to 7,000.
Wow.
Yeah. In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
I've not had a chance to tour it.
I have not either.
We should go.
We should go.
Is it still going on?
Until this Sunday.
Okay.
Until this Sunday, you can tour the lighthouse.
Can we get a VIP?
I wonder if we could do the morning show there tomorrow. You think? What time you getting up?
With the way the weather's looking, with the storms coming, I would probably advise against that.
It'd be fun because we get trapped in there.
Oh no, I wouldn't want to be trapped in there. But broadcasting from there would be pretty cool.
That would be fun.
I don't know how it would sound though. I don't feel like it would sound very good. I think you get the crashing, and then there's all the metal around. Yeah,
metal. What metal?
Well, inside the lighthouse, there's metal and stuff. Right?
Oh,
yeah, you get all that bounce. The sound won't bounce around very well.
Oh, I see. The acoustics.
Yeah, the acoustics. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm all about the acoustics.
The lighthouse was crashing down or something.
Oh no,
it's in good shape.
Yeah. We'll catch you up with sports here in just a little bit. Let's find out what's happening around the state with the Michigan News Network.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher. While not condoning the innocent loss of life on either side of the conflict, a Metro Detroit Islamic leader says decades of oppression have led some Palestinians to resort to violence. Imam Imran Saula of the Islamic Center of Detroit says he's not surprised emotions boiled over in the form of violence, as horrific as it was. There's an outbreak of pertussis in Presque Isle County in northeast Michigan. Currently, there are 6 confirmed cases, all under the age of 4. Pertussis, also known as whooping cough, can cause serious illness in infants, young children, and older adults. Authorities have recovered the body of a Lansing area toddler who went missing on Monday. The body of Jermaine Jones was found in the Looking Glass River. He walked away from his home in Watertown Township Monday as his babysitter was taking a shower. With no big winner since July, tonight's Powerball jackpot is $1.73 billion. I'm Beth Fisher for the Michigan News Network.
The rise of COVID-19 brought a rise of scams and theft. Stay immune with these tips. Remember, no trusted source will ask your Social Security, bank account, credit card, Medicare ID, or driver's license numbers over the phone. If someone you don't know asks for money through a payment app or prepaid gift card, say no. Learn more about COVID-19 scams at consumerfinance.gov/coronavirus. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Have you lost Michigan Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Another night of airstrikes over Gaza and another day of assessing how deadly the surprise Hamas attack was. ABC's Tom Rivers is at the foreign desk with more on the death toll in the war that continues to mount.
Israeli Defense Force spokesman Jonathan Ken with the latest on his side.
1,200 dead Israelis, the overwhelming majority of them civilians, and more than 2,700 wounded. And sadly, something tells me that these numbers are not the final numbers.
On the other side, the Israelis continue to heavily target Gaza from the air, raising the number of dead there. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
At least 14 American citizens were killed in last weekend's incursion, and it is believed there are at least 20 Americans among those still being held hostage by Hamas militants. They are believed to be still in Gaza, where Israeli airstrikes have smashed entire city blocks to rubble. With continuing coverage, Israel at war. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
All right, good morning, everybody. Hope you're enjoying your start to your day. We've been looking at some other things to talk about this morning, and there's MLB playoffs. Have you been watching that?
No.
You like baseball, though.
I do like baseball. I like all sports. I just don't watch them.
Yeah. If my kids are playing, I'll watch them, right?
Yeah.
How's your son's soccer team doing? Is it a sore subject?
Well, I mean, they played Lakeshore this week.
Okay. Lakeshore's got a solid team.
And they lost.
Ah.
And because I couldn't make the game. They played down in Niles.
Okay.
And I was getting reports from the game, and it wasn't going well.
Well, you should have told me. I would have walked down there, and I'd have given you reports.
And so I asked him the next day, just to keep the conversation going,
Sure.
Who won, knowing full well what happened. And he said, not us. And so I sent him a screenshot, 9-1, because Lakeshore sent it to us. And 9-1.
9-1.
And
Woof.
he said, thank you for the reminder.
Ouch. Did they have a goalie?
Right?
9-1. That's a baseball score.
I tell you.
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, they started the season strong, and then they had some issues. It's a building year.
Do they have some injuries?
I don't think so. I think they just got beat.
What position?
I can't remember the name of it, but
does he get to
plays
score
forward.
goals?
Yeah, he gets to score goals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like striker, maybe?
So, I don't know. Something like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe midfield?
Middle or something, or
Sure.
right field. I don't
Halfback?
He told me. I forgot.
Okay.
Yeah.
For fullback?
I just watch him and go, go Sawyer.
I will say, I was talking with my brothers about this, and I went to the Kickers Club too.
Yeah.
Grew up going there. My family helped start the thing.
You should have built a better internet inside that building.
Yeah, the internet's so good.
It's always horrible.
Well, because you don't need the internet when you're having a great time.
You got to watch in between the breaks.
Yeah, but
anyway.
you're having a good time with the great people.
That's true.
But I was telling my brother, who had played soccer for many years, probably half his life, I was like, you know what? I played soccer, but I don't fully know all the rules.
Yeah.
I was like, what's this? What's this? What's this? And he had to explain all that stuff. So yeah, when I watch soccer, when I watch a lot of Premier League, watch a lot of that stuff, sometimes I'm just like, I don't exactly know why that was a penalty. So, but I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're a parent watching that stuff, it's like, yeah, just please score a goal.
Yeah.
Or stop the other person from scoring a goal.
Yeah.
But maybe they can blame it on the field. The new
Okay.
turf
Yeah,
field. Yeah,
yeah.
blame it on that. It's
Could
new
be.
fancy turf.
Is the new fancy turf.
It's too fancy for the ball.
Held
the
them
ball
back and slowed them down.
The ball moves faster on those things.
Does it move faster?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't quote me on that, but I would assume the ball moves a little faster on the turf than it would on regular grass.
I found a few things that I think I want to buy if I win the Powerball.
Oh, what do you got?
Well,
do you want to get to the list later on the show?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Because Powerball, I don't know if anybody else is buying the Powerball tickets. I assume they will here in our community because the $1.7 billion jackpot, which I assume it will. You think it will be bigger by the time the actual drawing happens? Because
I always think it should be growing, but I don't see it growing. I think
Right.
it will grow.
yeah, because it's like 1.7.
Yeah, it's 1.7 billion right
seven or something like that.
Let's see what the latest is.
But yeah, I would
It's
assume by
1.73. It's 1.73 right now, and the cash value is 756.6. I'll look at the FAQs to see if it grows.
because I would assume so with the influx of purchases that people will be buying lots and lots of tickets right now. I'd assume that it would grow, maybe not to 1.8, but maybe another 1.75 or something like that at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, in November. Oh, well, CNBC wrote a little article here. It says the Multi-State Lottery Association, it's a nonprofit which runs the Powerball, has started directing more of its revenue from ticket sales toward the jackpot rather than smaller prizes. And that could be one reason why it keeps getting up to $1 billion, or it keeps going into the hundreds of millions.
And it gets going, and it happens rather quickly.
It seems to.
Because it was just a few months ago that there was one that was 1.5 or 1.2 billion or whatever it was. So yeah, it keeps going up.
This is interesting. A lottery's advertised jackpot size is based on the amount a winner would receive if they chose to be paid out in a 30-year annuity. Higher interest rates during a drawing means a higher total payout from that annuity, and we know for certain interest rates have been screaming high for
so
last couple of years.
Even though the interest rates have been going up, it's actually good
It's
if
helping.
you win.
Yeah, because the annuity rates, I mean, inverse yield and all that stuff. By contrast, a lottery's lump sum cash option is directly fueled by ticket sales. So the lump sum should keep climbing based on ticket sales. So what we're looking at right now for Powerball is $756.6 million. That should be bigger by the time you cash in. Now, we talked last night about St. Joe being a $30 million capital enterprise.
Yeah.
Right. Would you buy a town?
Now that sounds interesting. I didn't ever think of that.
Buy a town.
All right, let's get back to the show. We might have talked about this.
We'll see mostly cloudy skies to start out today. We're going to see in and out some sunshine, but we're going to see a lot of clouds becoming completely cloudy this afternoon. High temperatures right around 60. We're expecting rain showers this evening, and overnight tonight we drop to 48. And that rain continues through the day tomorrow with a high right around 60 as well. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
Hi, this is John Prose. You're listening to The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on 94.9 WSJM.
Go check out WSJM.com and the WSJM app. Learn more about Real Men Wear Pink all month long. We are encouraging the women that we love to get annual breast exams and mammograms and all that. You can learn all of the info and see all the great stuff and great people that are part of this campaign at WSJM.com and the app. Just a little bit ago when we were on our live stream, which, by the way, if you're not watching that, you're missing out on exclusive content. I mean, we know this is a fine award-winning program on the radio, but we're going another avenue and saying, hey, why don't we've won enough awards here on the radio. Let's go for the awards that are on the internet.
That's right.
Because that's what people call it, the interwebs.
Yeah, it's like going after the EGOT. Right?
Exactly.
The Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. We're going for the same, except we're getting radio, internet.
Sure.
Where else?
Radio. I want one of
Web.
those YouTube, the Webbies.
Oh, the Webby Awards. Yeah.
They have the Webby
the
Awards.
YouTube belt buckles that they give out are pretty cool.
Oh, they're belt buckles
I don't
now?
think no, they're not belt
They
buckles.
should be.
They look like belt buckles.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they'll put them in a frame.
You could
but,
solder one on and make it a belt
oh
buckle.
man, I would do that.
Well,
I would do that.
that's
for
why
sure.
we're doing this.
But yeah, you can check out our live stream. The reason I say that is because we have, either commercials are playing or something else is playing. We'll take a couple minutes and we'll talk about some other stuff, some exclusive things that only we talk about over there.
Yeah.
So you want to check that out on our Facebook and YouTube. And those that are watching, feel free to share it with your friends and say, hey, you got to go check this out. But what we were just talking about just a moment ago was what a lot of people have been talking about is the Powerball jackpot. And really, anytime these come around, any lottery jackpot, of course, when you're buying a $2 ticket, you're wishing.
Yes.
You're wishing and hoping
and
praying and dreaming of what you could win. You could win this big money with just $2.
Yeah.
But then there comes okay, if you win, what are you gonna buy?
What are you gonna buy?
And you just mentioned before we got on the air, what about buying a town?
Yeah. Yeah. Just buy a whole town.
Just buy a whole town.
Because
you got your own town.
The question came up last night in the candidate forum at Shadowland Pavilion. The city of St. Joe is holding an election on November 7th for city commissioners. One of the serious questions was, okay, the budget every year, $30 million estimate. How are you going to show that you can manage that? What would you do with that kind of thing, et cetera? And, just a thought, if the Powerball cash payout is $756 million and the city of St. Joe has $30 million as its operating budget, what if you just bought the town for a year or two? I know it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
But you could fund the town.
Because, I mean, if you watch some of those, there's been, TV shows where characters, have been like, oh, I own this town. I bought a town.
Yeah. You can buy a town because sometimes towns just kind of fold up.
Right.
Because the infrastructure or the industry moves away, whatever, you could move in and make a resort town.
Would you buy a town locally or would
Sure.
you find some town somewhere?
Yes.
Like,
I got enough money, I'll buy it all.
Either a warmer climate or say, out west somewhere cool. Like to me, I would like to buy a ghost town.
Yeah.
Like one of the old Western
Would you make it
ghost towns.
Would you make it a destination?
Yeah.
Resort type
Like
deal.
a haunted house kind of thing, year-round haunted house ghost town.
I like it.
Because that's the thing is you think of, say either St. Joe and you see that it's an enterprise. It's something that when you have a town, there's a lot of money going around, a lot of investment going on, but you still got to keep putting money into the town. It's not going to be one of those investments that's going to pay for itself.
No.
If you have a ghost town and you have some sort of income based thing where you're able to have a resort, it's generating some cash.
Yep. I like that. Yeah. You could buy a resort town. You could buy a town, turn it into a resort.
Sure.
I would do that locally.
Yeah.
I won't tell you where though.
Okay. Yeah. Because you don't want anybody else to go after it when they win. Hey, Ken has some great ideas. I'm just going to go.
Or you could buy one of the things that every now and again you see in the news, old missile silos for sale.
Oh,
those are fun to look at and think about, but they never get decorated well. I don't know why that is.
There was a show, and I don't know if they still have it on HGTV, but it was called Extreme Homes.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that bought like a missile silo or like a old bunker or storage facility in like the side of a mountain.
Ooh.
It just was decommissioned and they were like, we don't need it anymore. And it was up for sale and he bought it and he decorated it. Not a lot of light coming in.
No.
Unfortunately.
But the temperature's stable.
Yeah, the temperature, you don't have to worry about that. And you just build a couple of skylights, one of those little tubes. Reflecting tubes.
Yeah.
Do one of that and you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. And the light they make these days, the electric lights, they can mimic sunlight.
Yeah.
It's not the same, but it's close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that. And if you bought one of those, especially if it's like in the side of a mountain or something, you could grow mushrooms. You could have a nice little crop of mushrooms.
Oh,
in
there you go.
Yeah, just grow mushrooms all day long.
It's like that. You ever seen the movie Blast from the Past?
Sounds familiar,
It's
but
Brendan Fraser.
I like him.
Alicia Silverstone.
Okay.
Then there is, God, I can't remember the mom's name, but
people are screaming it right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Another great actress. And then, of course, I can't remember who else is in it. But anyways, So the dad, he builds, he works for like the government.
Oh.
And he builds, because it's back in like the 50s where they weren't sure if there was going to be bombings or of anything during the Cold War.
Yeah.
So he built this bunker underneath his house, then had all of these supplies to basically last them for 30 years.
Fantastic.
So great movie. If any of you haven't watched it.
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, Christopher Walken.
Sissy Spacek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just looked it up on the Google.
Such a good movie. I don't know. Where can we watch it? Let's just put it on right now. Let's just finish this.
All right.
Finish out
We'll
the
be
show.
back in about an hour and a half. No. Looks like you have to pay for that one.
Oh, man.
Why do you always have to pay for these things?
I don't know. Other things to talk about. You want to talk about baseball real quick?
Sure.
The thing I was mentioning earlier.
Sure.
So the MLB playoffs are going on right now. And despite they had some rule changes, they put the pitch count or pitch timer and some of that stuff. A lot of those rules that they made, they were hoping that it was going to boost home runs and hitting.
Okay.
Well, hitting was not really happening because in baseball, really the best, to consider a good player, usually your batting average right around 300.
Right.
That's a solid.
That's the
That's
number.
a solid player. Above that, you're more of you're a top tier player.
Yeah.
But the crazy part is that only 9 players out of all 30 teams, only 9 full-time players hit 300. Now, so that sparked conversation on the internet.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, when you think about a profession like that, what other professions where you can have a 30% success rate would mean that you're quote unquote successful? And so people comment with some of the stuff. Here's a few.
Okay.
Sales and marketing, 30%. You
So
get a
if
lot
you
of
have
no's, 30% yes.
About I want to talk about the batting average thing.
Yeah.
But 30% success rate if you're a marketer and you're still getting hired and that's acceptable?
Well, you think about it, if you go with the quantity, if you get so many no's and you get, out of every 10 no's, you get 3 yeses out of there, out of the 10 asks, I guess.
Right.
7 out of 10, you get no's, but the 3 out of 10, you get yeses.
I see what you're saying.
That's pretty
You're
solid.
casting a net and 70% of the fish get away, but you get 30%.
That's not bad. If you do, and if you do
Okay.
that a lot, if there's high quantity,
Sure.
you're
Volume.
decent.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get fired. You wouldn't get let go because you're not making any sales because you're making some. Another one is a songwriter. If you have,
and if you have 30% winning, I mean, depending on how you're defining victory there, that's really good.
Yeah.
30% is amazing.
Real estate agent might not be bad.
Oh.
You show 10 houses, you sell 3 of them. That's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, every house that I get, if I'm a realtor, I want to sell that baby.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're showing them, but if you don't have them as
as
an
my
asset,
I see. Okay. Yeah. You're showing other people's things.
Right.
Okay.
So, anyways, you wanted to talk back about baseball.
What about meteorologists? What's their success rate?
In Southwest Michigan? I mean,
weather folks,
especially with the way that it's with the lake, it totally throws off the whole entire forecast completely.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say meteorologists probably decent.
Yeah, they keep their jobs.
I mean, as long as it's not too drastic as the accuracy. If your accuracy is only 30% and you're like, yeah, I don't think it's going to rain at all today, and then it's just monsoon, then you might have some problems. Your job security might be going away.
Yeah.
Any other baseball things?
No, I was looking at. So you and I were talking during the stream.
Yeah.
During the stream or off air, we talk in 3 different mediums.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird. It's like dimensions. But one of the things is that in 2023, you said only 9 players have hit over 300.
9 players out of all 30 teams.
And we were surmising that was probably due in part to the pitch clock.
Yeah. But they hoped that it was going to go the reverse. And it was supposed to help them.
I think that's how they sold it to the players.
Yeah.
Because anytime you have a change in an organization, it's change management of, hey, what's in it for me? Why do I change?
Yeah.
Why do I accept this change? You say to the players, oh, your batting average is going to go up.
Mm-hmm. Your batting average is going to go up. There's going to be more home runs. You're going to get more butts in the seats.
but they still got it in, and they got the viewers. I don't know. I wonder if the viewer thing has been calculated.
Yeah, I think
yet.
viewership, I think they said, was pretty solid. It was some of the best they've had because of the shorter games,
because it's
too.
faster.
So yeah,
but that's declined because back in 21, I was looking at the stats here, and in 2021, they had 13 players hit above 300 or above.
Only 13. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would think there'd be more.
Yeah, you think that people need to, I think people just need to hit better.
Yeah, they all need to hit like
not
Ted
strike
Williams.
out so much. Yeah, Ted Williams, Pete Rose. You got Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn like never struck out when he was hitting.
Is he related to Fred Gwynn?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably not.
I think he was in the Monsters.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll get to your Moody on the Market update here in just a moment. It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
The Corewell Health Foundation Gala is taking place November 11th, and tickets are on sale. There is limited space, so purchase your tickets now. All proceeds from this event will stay in Southwest Michigan to support Southwest Michigan patient care. Join local families and businesses in the legacy to benefit this local patient assistance fund. Your support improves access.
Good morning, folks.
I think I would also buy this island, Columbia Island.
Columbia Island.
Yeah, it's in New Rochelle, New York. So one of my guilty pleasures, if you catch me surfing the internet, is uncrate.com.
Uncrate.com.
Yeah, it's a website for fancy men stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. Check it out.
Like it's like a box, like a monthly box thing?
No,
this is
I don't know why.
You buy it.
I know why they don't offer monthly box things, because the things they have on their website are oftentimes outrageously expensive. This island, you can buy an island. It's Columbia Island.
Okay.
Off-grid private island estate off the coast of New York.
Okay.
It's up for auction, starting at $5 million.
All right. Here, let's get to the Moody on the Market update. Yeah. Sorry, you were talking about buying things, and we almost didn't get back to the show. Anyways, it's time for your Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles. What do we got here today?
I thought we'd talk about the West Michigan economy. It continues to slow, but Grand Valley State University, an expert there, says they see no recession worry ahead on this. Key indicators from an economic report by a Grand Valley State University researcher continue to point toward a slowing West Michigan economy. However, a recession is unlikely to happen, at least through early 2024. Brian Long, director of supply management at GVSU, said the rumors of a recession have been persistent for years now, but the responses to his monthly survey of local businesses and manufacturers indicate the odds of an imminent recession are waning.
He says, depending on what news sources you're listening to, we've been talking about a recession for close to 2 years now.
Yeah.
Now it's October, and with the numbers coming in, we can easily conclude that there isn't going to be a recession in 2023. In fact, unless there's a major economic catastrophe that we just can't see right now, it's doubtful that we'll see a recession in early 2024. Now, for the rest of 2024, that's still in question.
Yeah, Long attributes the slowing West Michigan economy to several factors highlighted in the September survey. Indexes measuring new orders, production, and purchases have slid further from the August survey. According to September survey, the West Michigan economy still shows no sign of an impending recession, but it's continuing to slow. Long says that's not all bad because the Federal Reserve wants it to slow. He wants the economy, they want the economy to gradually slow in order to reduce inflation. So there's a lot more information on that and some statistics and some interesting insights as to why you should feel confident about it. So interesting report on moodyonthemarket.com.
Good to hear there's not one happening this year, but 2024 question mark?
You know, and it's unfortunate because you don't want the self-fulfilling prophecy. And that's why we're careful when we report the news that we're providing a lot of fact and attributing what people are thinking or feeling to certain, sources.
Yeah.
And again, this recession talk has been going on for 2.5 years, maybe longer.
Yep.
And it's just, and now we've got the campaign coming up, so people are going to be talking stuff all over the place. So just check it out and keep listening to us and keep us honest.
Read more at moodyonthemarket.com. Your update brought to you by our friends in Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles.
We're watching over you.
All right.
And I am not affiliated with Uncrate.
No. So tell me more about this Uncrate real quick.
Yeah, so Uncrate it's just a website for, I don't know. I used to call it dude stuff, but I think it's anybody's stuff. And they've just got all kinds of crazy gear. They have fancy sports cars and islands you can buy. This is where I saw the Kansas City jersey, I think. I don't know, their football jerseys and stuff like that.
Okay.
They've got the Nike Alpha Fly 3 running shoe that was worn by Kelvin Kiptum.
Oh, the guy? They already have that?
Well, what they have there
is something he wore a different time.
Is that shoe? Yes, and that it will be released to the public in January 24.
Okay,
and they give you a link to the website and stuff like that. It's all. A lot of it, I assume, is sponsored content, but it's fun to look at,
right?
Especially if you win the Powerball.
Comment on our Facebook page. Evan says, so now I know what to get Ken for his birthday.
A private
Happy
island
birthday week, Ken.
Oh, dear.
Or either a private island or a city. I think that's what we were talking about.
That's my buddy Evan Ludeman.
Yeah.
Hey, Evan. Yeah, it's good to hear from you.
So
we grew up like a house and a half apart from each other.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching, Evan.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap things up here for today. We had a busy show. And by the way, if you're watching this, we have other videos to watch as well. From previous shows that we've done, but also you can check out the St. Joe City Commission candidate forum that we did at Shadowland Ballroom yesterday. You can get all the details there.
Absolutely.
All right. You guys have a great rest of your day. We're going to do another hour of the show, but you can listen right here on 94.9 WSJM, but we'll talk to you again here tomorrow.
Absolutely.